Hi everyone, welcome back to another interesting video in programming fields. I'm Umesh Rana and in today's video we are going to set up multi-authentication in Laravel 11 using the bridge package. This will allow us to handle different types of users such as super admin, admin and regular user, and every users will have separate login, dashboard and profile update functionalities. In our Laravel 11 playlist, we already implemented a multi-authentication system for the super admin, admin and normal user. And in that video, we used a single table to manage different roles. But in today's video, we will be managing this multi-user authentication with multiple tables. So we will have different tables to manage authentication for different roles. This video can be lengthy, so please bear with me and keep watching. So I will be starting from very scratch. So in the very first step, I will be creating a fresh Laravel 11 application using Composer. So here I have opened the terminal and in the command line, let's enter a command to create a new Laravel 11 application. So I will be using Composer, create project, prefer dist Laravel, and here we will have to provide the application name. So I will be providing application name as bridge multi-auth. Let's hit enter, and here this started creating Laravel 11 application. Alright, yes, so the Laravel 11 application has been installed and it created the SQLite database, and by default it connected to that SQLite database and also it executed the default migrations. The project installation has been completed. Now we will have to navigate to the project folder. So I will type cd bridge multi-auth and then I will open this project in the VS Code editor. Yes, so the project has been opened in the VS Code editor. Let me resize this. Let me zoom it first. Now let's check out the .env file, and inside this .env file we can see we have the default database connection set to SQLite. So before moving ahead, let me create one readme file so that we can mention these steps there. So I will create info.md and inside this I will mention these steps. So we have completed this step 1 for Laravel 11 installation. Now in the step 2 we will have to install Laravel bridge package. Alright, then we will create model and migration for super admin and admin, because we are going to create multiple authentication for 3 user roles, that will be super admin, admin and normal user. And by default in the Laravel 11 application we have the model and migration ready for user. So additionally we will have to create it for super admin and admin only. And in the step 4 we will have to set up the schema inside the migrations, and also we will have to add the fillable property in the respective models. Fillable property in the model. Alright, next in the step 5 we will have to create guards for managing authentication. So we will add guards and providers in the configuration of auth.php. So we will write auth.php, and then in this step 6 we will have to implement authentication for the super admin, and then we will implement the same authentication for the admin user. And also we will have to create the middleware for managing the multiple redirection. So we will create middlewares and we will have to register it. So these will be the common steps that we are going to follow in this authentication process for the super admin, admin and user. So we have completed this Laravel 11 installation. Now we will jump to the next step, that we will have to install Laravel bridge package. So in order to start with Laravel bridge package, let's check out the official documentation of Laravel 11. So here we will search for Laravel 11 bridge. Now we have the first link as starter kits here. Let's click on this, and under this starter kits we can see we have the installation steps. So to start this installation process we will have to copy this command, and let's come back to the terminal and let's paste it here. Let's hit enter. and here Laravel Breeze package is installing. Yes, the installation has been done and it added Laravel Breeze version 2.0. Now let's follow the next step. So after installing the Laravel Breeze package, we will have to install Breeze auth scaffolding. So let's copy this command and let's paste it again. Let's hit enter, and here it prompted with this authentication scaffolding which blade stack you would like to install. So I will go with blade with Alpine. So let's hit enter. I won't choose dark mode support as of now, so I will select no and let's hit enter. And again it asked for which testing framework do you prefer. I will select by default as PHP unit. So let's hit enter, and here it is installing Breeze auth scaffolding along with this PHP unit, and it will set up the blade with Alpine. So the Breeze auth scaffolding has been added successfully. Now if we follow the next step, then here it is asking to migrate the database. So I will complete this migration step later. Firstly, I will follow this npm install and npm run dev command so that it will install node modules. So let's install npm. So we'll type npm install. Let's hit enter. Yes, npm has been installed here. And once the npm has been installed, inside this project folder, we will be able to see node modules folder here. Alright. Now in the next step, we will have to run npm run dev. Let's hit enter. Yes. So it started with version 5.2.12. And here we will be able to access our project in the browser. So let's start the application first. So I will open the terminal here and I will type php artisan. So yes, the project has been started. Now let's head over to the browser again, and here let's try to access localhost colon 8000. Yes, so here we are able to see Laravel welcome page, and we have the login and register options provided by Laravel Breeze auth scaffolding. So we have completed this Breeze installation package. Now we will have to install the model and migration for the super admin and admin. So if we will check out to the app folder, then inside this models, as of now we can see we have the default model as user, and same thing inside this database migrations, we have the migrations for the users. So in order to differentiate the authentication for super admin and admin, we will keep this separate model and separate tables. So for this, let's come back to the terminal and let me open the another terminal window. So here I will create one model for super admin. So I will type php artisan make model super admin, and also I will pass one flag as -m for migration. So along with the model, it will create one migration. Let's hit enter. Yes, the super admin model and migration have been created, and same thing I will have to create one for admin. Let's hit enter. Yes, so models and migrations have been created for the super admin and admin. Now if we will check out this super admin's migration, then we have the default schema as id and timestamp. Same thing for admins. So in order to manage the authentication for super admin and admin, we will have to add the schema inside these tables. So what I will do, I will navigate to the users table migration, and from here I will just copy this schema and I will add it for the super admin and for admin as well. Yes, so now inside the super admin and admin migrations, we have the default schema as we have for the users table. So the schemas are ready. Now let's come back to the models. So by default inside this users model, we can see we have the default fillable property. For simplification, let's just copy it and come back to the super admin class and let's paste it here. Now scroll up, and instead of this class user, let's change this to super admin. Alright, same thing we will have to keep for admin. So let's paste it here and let's change this to admin. So models and migration setup have been done. Now let's check out the info. So we have completed till these steps, and we have added the label property and schemas are ready. Now let's come back to the terminal and let's migrate this schema. So we'll type php artisan migrate. Let's hit enter. Yes, so these two newly created migrations have been executed here, and if we'll check out to the database, inside this database.sqlite we can see we have the admins table and we have the super admins table. So we have this schema ready. Alright, and now let's come back to the next step. We have to create guards and providers for the super admin and admin. So in order to add this, we will have to navigate to the config folder, and inside this config we can see we have the auth.php. So related to the authentication configuration, we will have to define everything here. So by default we can see inside this authentication guards we have the web guard, and this web guard is managing for the users. Alright, so in order to manage the authentication for the super admin and admin, we will have to define the guards for respective roles here. So let's copy and paste it 2 times, and let's change this web to super underscore admin. Here I have given the guard's name as super admin, and for this super admin we will have to define the provider name as super admins. So basically this will define our providers that we will define here, and this will be for admin, and for this admin I will give the provider name as admins. So inside this guards we have defined the guards for super admin and admin. Now let's scroll down, and respective to this guards we will have to define the providers. So inside this providers we can see the web guard is defining to this users provider, and this is referring to this users model. So similar to this we will have to add for super admins and admins as well. So here we will have to pass the provider's name as super admins because we have added this key as super admins here. So let's change this to super admins, and this will be as admins because we have added admins here. Let's change this to admins. Now inside this model we will have to change this model to super admin model, and we don't require this default env auth model because we are passing this super admin class here. Same thing for this admin, and let's change this to admin class. Yes, so we have the default guards and providers ready. Now let's scroll down, and here we will have to change one more thing for the password reset tables. So by default regarding the password, this is managing for the users provider, and this is referring to the web guard. So let's copy and let's replicate for the other roles. So here we will define for super admins, and regarding the super admins we have the super admin providers, and this will be for admins. Alright, and basically this is referring our table as password reset tokens. So for all the roles I will be using the same password reset tokens table. Alright, so our auth configurations have been done. So we have completed till this step. Now we will have to implement the authentication for the super admin. So I will be implementing the authentication process for super admin and admin one by one, so that it won't create any confusion for you. So firstly we will start for the super admin. Alright, so let me close these all, and let me collapse this window first, and let's come back to this app, http and controllers folder first. So inside this controllers folder we can see we have the auth folder, and basically this is representing our entire authentication process functionalities. So inside these all controllers we have different functionalities for managing authentication. So the major one is authenticated session controller. If we'll click on this, and inside this we can see we have the function as create, and that is returning our login view for the user authentication. Next we have the store function, and here our login authentication is working, and once the user is logged in it will redirect to the dashboard page. And lastly we have the destroy function. Basically this is for logout, and here it is logging out the authentication, and then this is invalidating the session. So in order to manage the multiple authentication for the multiple roles, what I will do, I will create one folder as super admin. So I will add folder as super admin, and inside this super admin folder, I will need this entire auth folder for managing authentication for the super admin. So let's copy this auth folder from here, and inside this super admin folder, let's paste it. Yes. So now inside this super admin, we have the auth folder. And now let's do same thing for this profile controller, because currently this profile controller is managing for the auth and this is referring to the user. So now we will need a separate profile controller for the super admin, so that we will be able to manage the profile update and edit functionality for this super admin. So let's paste it here. Yes, so we can see now we have auth folder and we have the profile controller inside this super admin. So now let's navigate to this super admin auth, and inside this we have the authenticated session controller. From here we will be managing the super admin login and logout functionality. And if we'll scroll down, then inside this we can see we have the create function. So here inside this create function, we can see this is returning one view as auth.login, and this auth.login we can find it inside resources, views, and inside this we have the auth folder, and inside this auth we have the login.blade file for managing the user login process. So if we'll come back to the browser and if we'll click on this login, then we can see we have the login page, and that is added here inside this login.blade.php file. Now let's come back to this super admin authentication session controller. So from here I will return a different login for the super admin. So I will add one directory as super admin, and from there it will return the auth.login page. I will create this view later. So now next we have this store function, and inside this we have this login request, and this login request is coming from this http request auth folder. So if we will check this, let me collapse this, and inside this app http request we have one auth folder, and inside this auth folder we have this login request, and this login request is for user. Inside this we have the validation rules, and we have this authenticate function, and here we have the rate limiter that is used to manage the maximum attempts of login in 1 minute. Alright, so currently this is defined for the user. Now we will have to manage the same thing for the super admin and admin as well. So currently we are working on this super admin part. So let's come back to this auth login request. Let's copy it and let's paste it inside this same folder, and we'll have to rename it for super admin. So I will rename it as super admin login request. So we have a separate super admin login request, and inside this we will have to change this class name as super admin login request. Alright, now we will have to keep the same validation rule. This is fine. And if we'll come down, then inside this we have the authenticate function. So this rate limiter will be same for super admin, admin and user as well, but here we will have to update one thing. Here this is trying to authenticate from the users table, so we will have to differentiate that, because this is for super admin, and when this super admin will try to log in, that authentication will be managed from the super admin tables. And to differentiate that, we have created the guards inside the config auth.php. So after this auth, we will have to pass the guard function here, and inside this guard function we will have to pass our guard name as super admin, because we have added this guard inside config auth.php. So by default, when super admin will try to log in, that login request will be checked from the super admins table. Rest everything is fine. Yes, this is done. And let's come back to this login request again, and here inside this auth attempt, again I will pass the guard for the user. So for the user we have the default web guard. So when the user will try to log in, that will work with the web guard, so that it will validate the login request from the users table. Okay, let's close this request. Now let's come back to the super admin authenticated session controller again, and here instead of this login request, we will have to change this to super admin login request. Let's copy this and let's replace it with login request here. Yeah, so now here it is authenticating the login request. So once this super admin login is authenticated, this will generate the session for that, and here it is redirecting to the dashboard route. So the super admin, we will have the different dashboard, so we will have to pass the different route as well. So here I will add route name as super admin dot dashboard, and we will have to define this route as well, so that we will come to this later. And inside this destroy function, we have the auth guard web passed here. Basically this will log out this guard and then it will invalidate that session. So for this super admin, we will have to pass guard name as super underscore admin here, and then this will redirect to the super admin login page. So I will pass return redirect route as super admin dot login. So when the super admin will log out, that will redirect it back to the login page for the login purpose. So we have handled this authenticated session controllers. Now in the next step, we will have to define the view for the super admin. So when the create function will be executed, this should return this super admin auth dot login view. Currently this is not locating this path. So in order to create this view, let's come back to the resources folder. So inside this resources views, again I will create one folder as super admin, and inside this super admin we will have to define auth dot login. So again from this auth folder, again I will copy this auth and I will paste it inside this super admin folder. So inside this super admin we have the auth folder, and inside this auth we have the login blade. Now this will be able to redirect to this super admin dot auth dot login. So now in the next step, we will have to define the routes for the super admin. So let's collapse this, and inside this routes, we can see we have the web.php route by default. And inside this web.php, we have the dashboard route, we have the auth middleware added here for the profile, and we have the auth.php route included here. So inside this routes folder, we can see we have the another route file as auth.php. that is added by Laravel bridge, and through this auth.php all the authentication process have been managed from this route file only. So for this super admin and admin we will require this route. So firstly let's duplicate it for this super admin. So I will rename this to super admin, and we will have to include this here. So let's duplicate and let's add it for super admin.php here. Now we will have to update the routes inside super admin. So currently we can see we have the guest middleware added here, and this guest middleware is basically when the user is not authenticated. So when super admin is not logged in, super admin can see login page and manage the login functionality. Now regarding this register part, this is not mandatory for the super admin to give the register option, because every user cannot be registered as super admin. So let's commit these two routes as of now. Here I will keep these two login routes, and rest again I will comment these all. And this login route is calling this authenticated session controller, and this is imported from this HTTP controllers auth. But for managing this super admin, we have added the authenticated session controller inside this super admin folder. So before this auth, we will have to add super admin dash auth, and here it triggered the error because this authenticated session controller path is not matching inside this authenticated session controller. So let's scroll up here, and we will have to update this namespace here, because currently we have added one directory as super admin and auth. So we will have to update this namespace path as super admin slash auth here. So now the namespace of the current authenticated session controller for the super admin is updated here. Now let's come back to the route of super admin again, and yes, that error has been gone. Let me resize this. So this is done. Now regarding this auth middleware, we have the verify email verification confirm. So as of now I don't require these routes, And here, once this super admin is logged in, super admin will be able to redirect to the dashboard page, and super admin can update the password, and also super admin can log out the session. So here we will require one more route as dashboard that we cannot see for this super admin. So to get that, we will have to check out to the web.php, and inside this we can see we have the dashboard route and profile route added here. So let's copy these all and let's add it inside this superadmin.php. So after this, let's paste it here, and here this is for dashboard, and from this dashboard route, this will open the superadmin.dashboard page, and we will have to create this dashboard blade for the superadmin, that we can create it inside views. Inside superadmin folder, we can see we don't have any dashboard.blade file. So let's copy it from main auth dashboard blade and let's add it inside this. Yes, so inside this superadmin, now we have the dashboard.blade.php. Yes, so we have this superadmin.dashboard blade linked with this dashboard route. Now we can see again we have the middleware auth and verified added here, but we already added this route inside this auth middleware. So we don't require this auth middleware, also this verified as well. So let's remove, and we have the name as dashboard, but inside this authenticated session controller, we can see we have added route name as super-admin.dashboard. Alright, that means we have to give the name for the route as superadmin.dashboard, and currently this name is dashboard only. So either we can change this name as superadmin.dashboard like this, or else we can apply this for global all the routes which are added here inside this superadmin route. So better we can create one route group here, route prefix first. So inside this I will pass prefix as super-admin, and then here I will pass name route as superadmin dot. Alright, and then I will call this group function. Inside this anonymous function, we will have to keep all the routes here. So let's close this. Alright, let me just align it first. Okay, let me remove these commented routes because these are not required. These all forget password and reset password option. This verify, email verified, also these are not required as of now. Yes, so here we have the auth route, and now we can remove this auth group for these profile controllers. So let's remove this. Okay, and regarding this profile controller, if we'll scroll up, then we don't have the profile controller here, so we will have to import it from this superadmin. So let's duplicate this, and here inside this superadmin we have the profile controller, so we will have to change this to profile controller like this. And again in this profile controller we will have to change the namespace. So inside this superadmin profile controller, we will have to change the namespace here, because currently this is referring to app, HTTP and controllers. So we will have to change this to superadmin profile controller. So let's update this namespace as controllers/superadmin. And now this is not able to locate this base controller because we have changed that base controller path to superadmin here. So this profile controller was extending to this base controller that is available inside this controllers folder. So now we will have to import that base controller here. So we will write use app http controllers and then controller. So our base controller is imported here, and this profile controller extended that base controller. If we'll click on this, then this is our base controller. Now let's come back to the superadmin route, and yes, that error has gone now. So we have added the name route as superadmin dot, and we have added the route prefixes as well. So here we don't require this superadmin dot. Alright, this is done. So we have added the route endpoints here for the superadmin. Now let's verify these routes are displaying properly. So inside this terminal, I will check route list by typing php artisan route list. So now inside this route list, we can see we have the routes for the superadmin, This is for dashboard, login, logout, password and profile options. And these are the default routes added for the users by Laravel bridge package. So now we can access this route directly inside the browser. So let's come back to the browser, and here by default this was for the user login, and here I will type localhost 8000 slash super dash admin slash login. Let's hit enter. Then yes, we are able to see the login page, but here we are not able to differentiate whether this is for normal user or this is for super admin. So we will have to do some changes inside this login blade as well. So let's come back to the VS Code again. Let me collapse. Let me close this. Alright. So inside this resources views super admin, we have the auth login blade. Alright. And inside this login blade, we will have to add some titles so that we will be able to differentiate this is for super admin. So that we can add it from this dashboard blade. We have the heading element here. Let's copy and let's add it inside this login blade title, and let's change this to super admin login. Let's check the browser. Yes, we have the super admin login, and we can align this to center. So we can pass this text center, and also we can give padding from bottom as 4. Inside this login blade, we can see we have the form action to the default route as login. Here we will have to change this to superadmin.login. Yes, this looks good now. So now we can see we have this superadmin login here, and this is for normal user. And also we don't require this forget password option for the superadmin. So let's remove this for superadmin here. So better we can remove this condition. Let's save it. Yes. Now we don't have the forget password option. So as of now we don't have any superadmin credentials. The same thing we have for the user as well. So for the user, let's register our first user here. So I will type name as user, email will be user@test.com, and I will add password as password@123. Let's register. Yes, so the user has registered and redirected to the dashboard page. From here we can access the profile, we can update it, and we can change the password as well. This is for the normal user. Now regarding the super admin, we will have to create one super admin user to test this functionality. So for that, what we can do, we can create one seeder for the super admin. So I will type php artisan make :seeder, and I will pass seeder name as super admin seeder. Let's hit enter. Yes, the super admin seeder has been created here. Now inside this database seeders folder, we can see we have the super admin seeder, and inside this I will call the super admin model : create function. Inside this create function, I will create one super admin user by defining the set of array. So I will pass name as super admin, email I will change this to superadmin@test.com, and I will add password. So regarding the password, we will have to use hash function. So I will call this hash make function, and inside this hash make I will pass password as password@123. So this will insert a super admin record inside this super admin table. So now we will have to execute this super admin seeder using the terminal. So let's come back to the terminal, and I will type php artisan db :seed, and then we will have to specify the class name as -- class equals that seeder class name. So we have the class name as super admin seeder. Let's hit enter. Yes, it seeded the super admin table. Now let's verify this inside database. So inside this database.sqlite, under the super admins, we can see we have the super admin entry. This is done. Now let's try to log into this super admin account using this super admin credential. So let's come back to the browser. So I will type email as superadmin@test.com, and we will have to pass the password as password@123. Now let's click on login. we can see it redirected back to the login page. Why? Because it is not able to redirect to the dashboard page. So here the super admin has been logged in, but when it tried to access to the dashboard route, it redirected back to the login page. So for that, we will have to pass the auth guard inside routes. So if we'll check to the routes folder, inside this routes super admin, we can see we have passed the auth middleware. So basically this auth middleware is referring to the user, and this is for web guard actually. So here we will have to define the guard specific for this authentication. So currently we are working for this super admin. So we will have to define the guard name as super admin, so that this entire middleware will be applied for the super admin role only. Alright, this is done. Let's save it. Now let's come back to the browser again. Let's refresh it. And now let's try to log in using the super admin account again. So email is superadmin@test.com and password is password@123. Now let's hit enter. And yes, now we are able to log into the super admin account. And after the successful login, it redirected to the dashboard page, and here the URL has been updated to superadmin/dashboard. And also we can see the auth user login profile name. So here it is showing super admin. But in order to differentiate the dashboard name, we will have to change this dashboard title. So let's come back to the dashboard blade. So inside this resources, views, under this super admin dashboard, here we will have to change this to super admin dashboard. Let's refresh, and yes, the updated change has been reflected here. Now if we will hover over on this header link, here we can see we have the dashboard, and on this logo still we are able to see /dashboard link. Also if we will hover over on this profile link, this is showing /profile, but this is super admin dashboard, so accordingly the URL should be superadmin/profile, and this dashboard link should be superadmin/dashboard. So we will have to update this header navigation for this super admin dashboard. So let's come back to the VS Code, and here in the dashboard we can see there is a component called as X app layout, and inside that component this header and this main body component has been called. So if we'll check this X app layout, then this app layout component is defined here inside this layouts app.blade, and this app.blade is a common for every authentication, that is for user, admin or super admin. So for this we will have to differentiate these layouts as well. So for the multiple authentication, we will have to make this separate layouts for every users like super admin, admin and user. So again, let's copy this layouts folder and come back to the super admin, and let's paste it here. Yes, so now for the super admin we have the separate app.blade.php, and inside this body we can see layouts.navigation component is included here. So instead of this layouts.navigation, we will have to change this to superadmin.layouts.navigation. So let's update this to superadmin.layouts.navigation. This is the blade file here. So respective to this layouts app component, we will have to change this class as well. So if we'll collapse and if we'll check inside this app view folder, then we can see we have the components here as app layout, and by default this app layout is rendering for the user authentication, and this is returning view as layouts.app. So for the super admin, we will have to create the another component that will render our new super admin layouts.app component. So better we can just copy and paste it here, and let's rename this to super admin app layout. Alright, and also let's change this class name to super admin app layout, and inside this render function we'll have to return the super admin.layouts.app. Now if we click on this, then we can see it is able to redirect to this app blade that is available inside this super admin layouts folder. So this is done. Now we will have to navigate to this layouts.navigation component. So let's click on this, and inside this we will have to change the navigation URL. So here we can say we have the hyperlink as route dashboard. So let's change these all routes to admin dot. So just select it and let's find it by pressing Ctrl D. Alright, and here we'll have to change this to super dash admin dot. So the links have been updated now. And also for this responsive web link, we will have to change this to super admin dot dashboard. Then it will make active to that link, and here as well. Alright, yes, so this is done. And inside this navigation link title, I will change this to super admin dashboard link. Alright, and now let's come back to the dashboard.blade again, and from here instead of app layout we will have to call super admin layout. So we have component as super admin, just like this. Okay, let's save, come back to the browser, let's refresh once, and yes, the new changes have been reflected here. The dashboard link title has been changed to super admin dashboard, and if we'll hover over on this, then we can see we have the link as super admin / dashboard. Same thing for this logo, and if we'll hover over on this profile link, then now we can see we have the super admin / profile option. But here this is still loading the user profile component. If you will hover over on this profile again, then you can see this URL has been changed to /profile, that is representing to normal user profile. Now we will have to change this component to super admin profile. So let's find this super admin / profile route. So inside super admin route, if we'll check this profile controller edit function, so let's navigate to this super admin profile controller, and this edit function is calling this profile.edit view. This profile.edit view is still defining this user profile. So if we'll scroll down inside views, then you can see we have the profile folder, and this is basically for the normal user. So again we will have to copy this profile folder, and we will have to add it inside this super admin folder, and inside this profile we can see we have this edit.blade file. So from this super admin profile controller we will have to call super admin.profile.edit view, and same thing for the profile update option. We can see we have the profile update request called here. So if we'll scroll up, then this profile update request is called from http request folder. So again let's come back to the request folder here, and inside this request we can see we have this profile update request. So we will have to again duplicate this. So let's paste it, and let's rename it to super admin profile update request. Also we will have to change this class to super admin profile update request. Yeah, rest this validation rule will be same, and here we will have to change this to super admin model instead of user. So let's import it here. Yes, this is fine. Now let's come back to the profile controller, and instead of this profile update request, let's change this to super admin profile update request. Also we will have to change it here. This is fine, and on successful update of the profile, this should be redirected to the super-admin.profile.edit, and there will be status of profile updated. And here we can see we have the destroy function again. So this will be for deleting user account. So if you want to delete this super admin account, then here we will have to log out that. So here inside this logout, again we will have to pass the guard function, and inside this guard we will have to pass the super admin, and this will redirect it to the super admin login. Now let's change this title to super admin profile. So we'll update this as super admin profile, and inside this super admin profile we can see here we have the different components included. This is for profile information, this is for password, and this is for delete user. All right, so we will have to change this include path from normal profile to super admin, just like this. All right, and let's try to redirect to this profile information blade. and here we will have one form to update the profile. We will have to change this form action to superadmin.profile.update. So this is done, and here this will return the profile updated success message. So instead of text gray, I will change this to green, and let's come back to the edit.blade again, and now we will open this update password form. So let's click on this. Again, we will have to change this form action route to superadmin.password.update, and regarding this account deletion option, so let's update this form action again to superadmin.profile.destroy. This is done, and also we will have to change this app layout to superadmin app layout because this will be coming inside superadmin. So now let's refresh it, and we can see this navigation link is changed to the superadmin dashboard. Now let's try to update this profile. Let's save it. Yes, we can see the profile has been updated and we got the success message. So superadmin profile is working properly. Now parallelly, let's try to log into the normal user account. So for the normal user, we had the user email as user@test.com, and password we kept same. So yes, now we are able to log into the normal user account as well. Alright, so parallelly we are able to access superadmin dashboard and even user dashboard. From this profile option of this normal user, we will be able to see profile information. Let's update it. Yes, profile has been updated for this normal user. So now let's come back to the VS Code again, and here we have implemented this functionality for the superadmin login, logout and profile update option. Now before implementing this admin authentication, we will have to create middleware. So let me show you the problem here. So let's suppose I have logged in from this normal user account here, and from here if I will try to switch to the superadmin dashboard, I'm able to redirect to the superadmin dashboard. However, I had logged in from the normal user account, and here from the superadmin, if I will try to switch to the normal user dashboard, I'm able to redirect to the dashboard as well. Also, if I will try to access the profile, then yes. So here I'm able to access all the routes directly from this browser if I'm logged in here. So we will have to prevent this redirection using the middleware. So the logged in user can access the URLs based on the logged in user type. Let's suppose if it is superadmin, then superadmin can access the superadmin routes only, and the normal user cannot access the superadmin or admin. So to resolve this issue, we will have to create few middlewares, and we will have to set the redirection based on the guards. So that we will see in the next video along with the remaining part of the admin authentication.